Anyways, yeah, it took me a little bit to get going, a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take. But anyway, it is late night Monday. I couldn't figure out what to drink, to be honest with you. I was having some struggle. My supplies are getting slim. That's not exactly true. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it's a lot of. I got a lot of barrel aged stuff. I got a lot of winter stuff in there. Most of my summer stuff is gone, and I got a couple of things, but wasn't in the mood for that either. Nevertheless, long story short, it took me a little bit to figure out what to bring out. I finally just grabbed something and said, screw it, we're just going to do this tonight. anyway, I digress. How do you know how far to go until you've gone too far? That's the story of my life right there. Anyway, anyways, anyways, I digress. How the heck are you? So what? I just eventually kind of gave up and just grabbed a random. I grabbed a random milk, man. Let's see. This has been around for a while because they don't even make the milk anymore. Now it's a matter of familiars. This is actually a 2018 vintage. I didn't realize what I grabbed until I'd already opened it. This one's been around a minute. It's 11% on this particular vintage. I'm going to pour it. I'm going to start getting happy, and I'll read the rest of it to you. Oh, nice. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, those aromas are already creeping up. With MILF, mother's devotion to depth and complexity borders on obsession. Flavors of roasted malt, chocolate, and raisin mingle with the maturity imparted from oh my eyes are so focusing here. 11 months in bourbon, rye, brandy, and rum barrels. 11 months in bourbon, rye, brandy, and rum barrels. So anyway, I'm going to show that to you if you want to freeze the frame and read it yourself. I'm going to let that get happy, actually. I want to let that sit and let that relax. Let that warm. Let that warm a minute, and I'm going to pour myself just a little bit of whiskey here. Because it's going to be a one and done kind of night. It's late, and I'm tired, and I just got home from work a little bit ago. And as I already stated, it took me a little longer to get things going than I'd hoped. But anyway, it's the Rocktown Column Still Collection Single Barrel Cask Strength Bourbon Whiskey at 59.17%. We show you the back there. I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to pour about a shot and a quarter into my glass here. Got some Tab Benoit in the background. I'm going to sing a little for you. Tom, please don't. Please don't, Tom. I love this song. Last night, I got loaded. A bottle of gin. A bottle of gin. Hey, last night, I got loaded. A bottle of gin. Bottle of gin. Oh, man. I've got a couple even older than this one in there. I didn't even realize what I was grabbing until I was already in here. I'm going to open it now. I just closed my eyes and grabbed some. I was tired of looking, trying to narrow it down. Anybody wants to share what they're drinking with me or question or comment, feel free to share. I got loaded. This is this cask strength whiskey is just insanely good. Got one open bottle left. I'll pop here now. As we get into September, I'm kind of weeding through all my stuff. And I'm getting slim, actually. I've got the rest of this Rocktown left. I've got this much of my single malt Turkana left. I've got a little bit of my Tiyaki Da rum left. And just a little bit of, well, I got about half a bottle, actually, of my Yakida agave spirit, if you will. And I'm not buying a damn thing. I ain't buying shit until we go on vacation. I'm going to run out of beer. I'm going to run out of whiskey. So I have a place to put things when we get back. Very excited, though. Very excited. I'm at that obsessive portion. I get so close and I start. See, as I go periods where I get a little obsessive. I write some things down. I make some notes. But now I'm at that point where I'm kind of fine tuning the maps, and I'm getting really obsessive at this point. So we've never taken a vacation like this one before ever, and we're going to a part of the country neither of us have ever been to before. So I'm really excited to see some places and things. And it's not just the breweries and distilleries, just the country, to see what else is out there. I'm really excited about all of it, to be honest with you. And a lot of it is food, too. A lot of what we do is food related. I am a bit of a foodie, I guess, kind of depending on your uh, description of a foodie, to be honest. But yeah, I like to go to different parts of the country where they might have some brands and some things that I can't get here. Being more on the East Coast, I'm sure they're going to have quite a few things. And there's a large German community there, so I'm looking forward to buying a lot of things there as well. It's just gorgeous. Very approachable for cast strength, as you might be able to see there. Very rich, very decadent. A lot of deep, dark brown sugar because you're definitely going to feel some molasses. But you're also going to pick up a lot of dark fruit notes in there, and it really depends on you and your taster at this point. Because you're not going to taste things you don't know. But for me, I certainly pick out some raisins, some overripe plums, some dark cherry notes. But for you, depending on what you taste and what you know, it's not going to be unusual to pick out some date and or fig in there. Won't you? Oh gosh, that's gorgeous. It's been hanging around, man, for about 6 years. Damn. 2018 vintage. Yeah, man. Shit ain't playing, man. This shit ain't playing, top. 2018 vintage. Yeah, it's 6 years old, man. No, this is just fucking beautiful, man. I never really felt this, to be honest with you, but I remember a lot of friends that told me when these vintages first come out that they seem very hot right away. It's not necessarily unusual for a beer of this type, but I've never really felt it that way. What I will say though is, I can't speak, I can't, go back in time 6 years and tell you what my notes were, but I do feel like when these first come out, the notes although I don't feel as hot, seem to be a little sharper. And after this has had 6 years to just kind of relax and mellow out, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. What's interesting though is sometimes I've had beers like this that have sat a while, and sometimes those barrel notes tend to take over. And although you really can feel those barrel notes, there's still a supporting character. It just kind of surrounds everything else. I do feel that raisin right away. Those raisin cocoa nib notes, really. But it's interesting to me how mellow everything is. Those barrel notes are there, but everything's just kind of relaxed, man. Like we went from when it was, the vintage 2018 was a rock club. Now we're in a jazz club. Now we just taking it easy, listening to some Tina Brooks, and we're all good, baby. We're listening to some UB Blake. We're cool, brother. We're cool. Listen to some UB Blake, man. Uh, anyway, I digress. Wow, that's freaking delicious. Oh, fuck me. Uh, I've got some friends that ask me if are there any particular breweries that I'm looking more forward to than others. The truth is, distilleries as well. The truth is, there's too many there to hit them all. I'm just not gonna. And if I put that pressure on me, I'm not going to enjoy the ones I can go. The truth of the matter is that it doesn't matter. I just, whenever we go to an area, I'm going to hit what breweries are there, and I'm just going to relax and enjoy the ones I can get to. Because if I put the pressure on, and say we got to get to all of them, I'm really not going to enjoy any of them. Just going to enjoy the ones I can get to. It's the first time we spent 5 days in one particular part of town because of having pets and everything else. We've only been able to sneak away for a couple, 3 days here and there, and we've tried to stay close to home, only about maybe 3 hours, slightly over 3 hours from home at the most. So we've never really gotten too far. So I just want to be able to enjoy the area we're at, to be honest with you, without putting the pressure on that we're only going to be here one time. The odds of getting back to this neck of the woods are slim. Oops, hit the wrong button. So we've got to hit them all. I don't want to try to have to hit them all. I just want to say, okay, if I just want to have one beer in this place, I'm going to have one beer. If I want to have three in this place, I'm going to have three. It's going to be like that. I'm just going to relax and try to enjoy the moment, enjoy where I'm at, rather than the quantity, just enjoy the quality of the vacation. Because neither my wife and I have ever been able to do anything like this before. To go for this length of time, just the two of us. So I'm really looking forward just to trying to relax, kind of get out of my own head, not to overthink everything, which is what I tend to do. I tend to overthink and overanalyze everything, and I want to not do that. I just want to go, okay, if I can hit one today, if I can hit 10 today, whichever direction it goes, it's going to be fine. And to clarify, I was just making a point. I'm never going to hit 10 in one day. That's a lot. But there's a couple I thought, well, maybe if I can, there's a couple spots where there's three or four right close together. So if I can hit each four, maybe have a half pint here at each one, But like I said, if I only get to one of them, that's going to be fine too. I ain't going to sweat it. Because other than me hitting my breweries and distilleries, I want her to be able to get to the places she wants to get to. So if my things aren't near that, well, that's going to be fine too. And although I've marked down in what's in each particular area, we don't have an itinerary per se. I mean, we're not doing this at 8, this at night. No, we're not doing that nonsense. Again, it's going to be one of those vacations where we're going to get to what we're going to get to, and I don't want to be in a hurry to have to get to anything. The only thing I've made a reservation for is our on our anniversary dinner. Other than that, there's no time schedule for anything. But I did want to make that one reservation, so it was set. Other than that, everything else is golden, man. Bear with me. I'm trying to look something up real quick. Oh, this one's blowing me away. Actually, I got to tell you, this 2018. Oh my god. A lot of folks will tell you only want to give beers like this. You only want to give beer about 5 years. Anything over 5 years, you're kind of, you know, it's a crapshoot. The truth is, this is 6 years, and this thing is gorgeous. And I have a feeling that it would have kept getting even more beautiful. But I don't know. I don't know that it get better than what it is now. To be honest with you, mothers, wow, this thing is gorgeous. Unfortunately, they've uh, gone through an ownership change not long ago, and things don't seem to be things don't seem to be the same. I recently picked up a 6 pack of a product that was rather disappointing, and I'm not really sure where to go with it. I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with that emotion. But this beer is insane, man. So I mentioned big cocoa nibs earlier. I mentioned the raisin, but as this has been in a few barrels, so you're going to get some flavors from those barrels, right? What I just picked up was some big toffee notes. Um, I'm probably feeling the bourbon and rye barrel the most at the moment. The brandy and rum is probably where I'm picking up some of those fruit notes, though. But I'm really feeling those bourbon and rye barrel notes big. And they may be the dominant as it rests. That I don't know. And again, it's just how you taste it too. Somebody else can have this exact same beer and taste it completely different than I am. It's one of the reasons I never want to speak in absolutes, and it kind of bugs me when some folks do. Well, this is exactly what you're going to taste. This is exactly how you're going to feel it. The truth is, you're never going to taste things you don't know. You're not going to smell things you don't know. So nothing is ever an absolute. Oh man, I probably didn't need to pair the whiskey with it, to be honest with you. But I like to have that contrast going back and forth. The yin and yang of it all. Anyway, I do like Rocktown products. They've kind of changed over the years. I've had some of their stuff way back when, back about 2013, 2014. I was in the area. And they used to do this hickory smoked whiskey. And quite frankly, I'm a little bummed they don't do it anymore. That whiskey was just beyond good, man. I described it when I first had it way back when as if Americans invented Scotch, right? If before that, this is what they would have done in that whiskey. I just wish they would have stayed with that and really aged that whiskey. Now it'd be a 10-year-old hickory smoked whiskey would be insane. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Elvin Bishop, keep on rolling. It's a politics. There's not enough Richards and too many dicks, he says. Anyways, I digress. Speaking of I get asked questions from time to time about my politics, and I'm quite frankly, I mean, I'm usually pretty free with my opinion. I've never tried to hide it. Anybody wants to know where I lie on any issues, it's in many videos that I've done. So but in certain situations, I'm not going to get into that. Right? If I'm at work, I'm not going to delve too much into it. And quite frankly, I'm kind of tired of doing other people's research for them. To be honest with you, if I make a blanket statement, if I mention something that I've looked at before, well, this is why I don't like these folks. Well, can you elaborate? No, I'm not gonna. Because the truth is, it's just not going to make any difference. I mean, I can even show you all the data. I can show you all the articles I read to lead me to my opinion. But if you're not of a mind, you're never going to change yours, right? And that's kind of where we become as a society. Is folks aren't going to change your mind. When folks ask you to elaborate, they don't really want you to show them any proof. They don't even want you to really elaborate. They want to know why your opinion is different than theirs. Because the more you elaborate, the more you can say, well, this is where I found this article, there's this piece here, these are the facts, this is the truth, this isn't somebody's opinion, this isn't editorial, these are some facts. If they're not of a mind to change theirs, it just doesn't matter. And quite frankly, I'm just tired of wasting my damn time on people that have already made up their mind about everything. I'm not going to research for you. I'm going to tell you my opinion. I'm going to tell you what I know. But am I going to elaborate? No. I'm tired of doing other people's work for them. Because I'm just wasting. I'm tired of wasting my time showing you everything that's true and for you not to believe it. So if you ask me for my opinion and I give it to you, know that I didn't come by that opinion lightly. I went through, looked at what I can find. I found the truth, and this is how I formed what I believe through my belief system. But if your belief system is different than mine, anything I tell you isn't going to make a damn bit of difference. So no, I'm tired. I'm tired of doing other people's work for them. I'm tired of going out of my way to try to show you and enlighten you, and for you just to throw it up and say, "No, I don't believe it." Well, I mean, I'm not giving you my opinion; these are facts. And if you want to deny that facts exist, well, then I've just wasted my time because you're an idiot. I'm just done with it all. You've made up your mind. I've made up my mind. Let's just leave it at that. What I say about religion is when the first con man met the first fool. And that's where we are, people. My belief is simple. It's that everybody should have the same rights. I actually had somebody say this to me, which kind of blew me away. At the time, so say everybody ought to have the same rights. So, well, rights are different for everybody. I said, why is that? You, as a privileged white guy, think your rights are different than everybody else, and it's not the rights, it's not freedom you enjoy, it's privilege you enjoy. Like I said, if somebody isn't of a mind to change their mind, nothing you say is going to affect that. No matter, um, no amount of reality, truth, or facts is going to change them. And I'm just tired of wasting my breath on idiots. Uh, What's interesting, I want to go back to this beer for a second. What I find very interesting about it is again, I mentioned, I know I'm rehashing a bit, but I want to keep bringing it up. The cocoa notes, the raisin. But as I've really let this sit and warm a little bit here, those barrel notes are really coming through in a big way. This is a big, rich, decadent beer, and why it doesn't become too much is again those barrel notes really rein it in at the end. And I've had beers like this in the past that once they've gone past a certain amount of age, sometimes those barrel notes kind of take over. And this hasn't done it. It's just those barrel notes still remain a supporting character. They're just making everything else just a little bit better. Oh gosh, that's gorgeous. Those nice barrel notes at the end. I will be honest though, for me, I'm feeling the bourbon and the rye barrels a note. I don't know that I'm getting as much of the brandy and rum. However, I guess I do kind of feel that rum a little bit at the end. I feel the rum is really bringing out those raisins, maybe. But because I'm more of a bourbon and rye drinker, it's probably why I'm feeling those notes the most. To the river. Oh, bear with me. I know I took my focus away from you a second. I'm trying to check something out real quick. Bear with me, people. Sometimes my mind wanders. Ah, I didn't help me at all. Anyways, I digress. Let me finish up this whiskey. I'm gonna pour the rest of the beer in here. Actually, let me get about that. Just see that pour. I will tell you, it has changed a little bit as it's warmed. But for me, I'm still getting those big cocoa and raisin notes up front, especially on the nose. Toffee almost feels like those little like toasted hazelnut notes in there as well. Anyway, let me finish it top of the Rocktown Column Still collection. All this stuff is beyond freaking gorgeous, man. Getting about halfway through, well, not quite half. Trying to nurse it through, get through the rest of the month, and then come September, open my last unopened bottle, which is the Rivalist, an American single malt whiskey from Union Horse Distilling. I love the American single malt category. I just can't get enough of it because it's so much different than any other single malt. Right? It's completely different from a Scotch single malt, from an Irish single malt, or a Japanese single malt. It's a whole other animal, and even in its own category, American single malts are different from one distillery to the other. A lot of them can be different animals. Some will keep that Scotch and Irish tradition by using used bourbon barrels, but a lot of them are using new American oak. So you've got that big oak with that 100% malted barley, and that changes the game altogether. So that's partly why I'm a big fan of the category. Restless Spirits out of North Kansas City covers both categories. They've got an American single malt that uses the used bourbon barrels, and so because of that, it drinks a lot like an Irish single malt. Of course, it's not, but you get that when you drink this. Oh, wow! I can feel your Irish roots in this whiskey. But then they do another one that's in a new American uh, charred oak barrel. And you think, oh, that gets everything. That encompasses everything. And that's one thing I do love about that American single malt category. The Rivalist from Union Horse uses the new American or new charred oak barrel, American charred oak barrel. And it's just freaking amazing, man. So for a while there, I was doing these news on Monday. I thought it might be kind of, do a little editorial. I was trying to make it a little humorous, but give my opinion, but kind of do it in a funny way. But some folks took it a little too serious. And so I decided maybe that wasn't the way to go right now. I'm okay with being a little polarizing. It's kind of my nature anyway, to be honest with you. But and I've kind of given you a little bit earlier to let you know which direction I lean. But at this point, we don't need any more reason to be divisive as a society or divided as a society because we're already there. And I run into folks that'll say we need to learn as a society how to have a discussion again. And I don't necessarily agree with that, other than the fact that I think a lot of the folks that say that really have no intention of having a discussion. They want to tell you how they feel, and that's all they want to hear. If I want to be able to tell you my opinion and have you be okay with it. And that's kind of the problem right now. I feel like that's where we are. People say we need to learn how to have a discussion in our society and talk about religion and politics. And you'd like to believe they're saying we like to listen to different sides. Well, I want to hear your side as much as you want to hear my side. But that's not what they mean. What they mean is I want to tell you how I feel and have you just kind of okay. I want you to acquiesce and not disagree with me. And I don't think we've ever been. I think a lot of it is just nostalgia. People remember things a certain way when it never actually happened that way. I remember as a kid listening to my relatives discuss religion and politics back in the late 60s, early 70s. It was never done very cordially. So I think the memories of folks, we used to be able to have discussions as a society that never existed. I think it only exists in certain folks' memories, their minds. There was a time we used to be able. No, we've never been able to do that. Nixon. Do I need to talk about Nixon? Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan. I mean, no, there's never been a time where we can all come together and have a polite discussion. That never existed anywhere in our timeline. And I think folks that want to believe that ever existed just really have convinced themselves a timeline existed that never has. Anyway, I digress. Uh, Peter, Paul, and Mary. I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and I'm also Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom. And yeah, I would love to get to a point where we can all just, you say your piece, I say mine, and we're done. Uh, but the truth is, like I said a few seconds ago, I don't think that ever existed. If it did, it isn't going to exist again. People are way too divided right now. What I do find interesting, though, is that there is a certain segment of society that wants to tell you that there are people out there that want to tell you what you can say and what you can't say. Everybody's offended by everything these days. And why is that? I don't necessarily disagree with that, but the problem is it's the people that are saying that are the folks that get offended by everything they disagree with. Those are the people that are unfriending you on social media and blocking you on social media because you have a difference of opinion. They will do that to you and then go on and say, why is everybody so offended by everything? Anyway, one more time with feeling. Tom, the beer whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer whisperer, prolific beer drinker, purveyor wisdom, and all around good guys launcher. Thanks for tuning in, guys.